And then I should also say good day from any part of the world you are actually going through this with us. This is Anatomy Life Study Session, okay? And we believe we are going to have a time to internalize, okay, to interact what we have internalized, okay? Yeah, you're going to have the time to interact what we have internalized. And with me here, okay, from another part of the school, okay, is another student, okay, or is a student, okay. So these students, I'm going to teach these students what I learned in the afternoon with another student, and that is actually how study should work. When you store you should be able to store it, and you should be able to retrieve it to be able to present it in such a way that in 5 minutes a 5-year-old should understand. So welcome to this session, my guest student. I think the name is, are you comfortable if I mention your name? Okay, let's see your face and say hi to us if you can hear me. Yeah, say hi to us if you can hear us. Are you shy? Say hi to us from wherever you are. You don't need to mention where you are, but if you are comfortable, okay. Uh, Please save time because we'll soon be done. We don't want to take much time. Can you hear me? I don't understand. Can you, if you can hear me, say hi or I move on or invite another guest, please.
Yeah, good evening, sir. Sorry, sir.
Eh?
I kind of work.
Eh? I can't hear you. Can't hear you.
Sorry.
What did you say?
I was greeting you, sir.
See, sit in such a way that your face will be clear. As in, the light will cut. This is YouTube now. So your face will be clear. So if I'm teaching you, I see your face. Turn your seat such a way that, or I remove you as the guest, bring in another guest. We are not joking here now. You're laughing. You're shy. You're laughing. Okay, no problem. So our audience and our uh, users and subscribers and friends and co-students, fellow students in the comment section. Okay, the young student here is shy. He has not done this before since he was that born. Okay, so we no problem. We manage his posture the way it is, and occasionally, maybe with time he will come up. Now let's get to points. We want to interact, like I said. If you really check the Hi, welcome to Medicine Surgery Course Mastery. Okay, a session where we internalize a period where we use some basic measures to master the concept and concern in medicine and surgery. So here, this session, we are trying to do anatomy live study session. In the afternoon, we do study session. Okay, we're looking at the screen, we're studying from the screen. In this evening, we are going to interact what we've internalized. In the afternoon, we internalize some concepts about the thorax specifically, and now we want to interact, okay, what we have internalized, okay, and we want to recite what we have read. We want to coin what we captured in the picture called book, and we want to face one course until we succeed. That way now, we are going to do what? We're going to have the privilege and the opportunity to do what? We're going to have the privilege and the opportunity to do what? To boost our retrieval capacity. All right. Yes, somebody may have retentive ability, but retrieval capacity may be very low. So that's why this evening we are looking at this session on thorax. Yes, we started thorax, but today we are continuing in thorax again. All right, thorax. The first time we had a video on thorax, we're studying thorax, we learned using JEC C-film. That's what we learned. Say JEC C-film. All right. What does that spell? JEC dash, letter C, another dash, then FIM. JEC dash F dash and JFIM. Do you follow? Good, good. I seen your thumbs up, my guys. So you in the comment section, you guys, the guys. So you in the comment section, those of you are gonna watch this on live. So give a thumbs up if you are following the acronym for studying thorax. At least the first set of acronym of studying thorax. Okay, based on the material we were internalizing, and then we say J stands for joint. And then we say E stands for extent. And then we say C stands for composition. And the next C stands for characteristics. And the F stands for function. And the I stands for inlet or thoracic inlet. And the M stands for meaning or thoracic introduction to thorax. I'm going to do that again before I ask my guest if he got that clear. And you in the comment section, okay, you got that clear, you tell me a thumbs up if you are with me. Okay, so now we move on. We said if you have the J there, Jack C-film, like if there's like say, Jack C-film, Jack C-film. So the Jack C-film there is spelled JEC, there's a hyphen, C again, there's another hyphen, and then FIM. Now, GEC, another C, FIM. Now, J is for joint, we said. J is for joint. And then E is for extent. And then E is for extent. Now, C is for composition. C is for composition. The next C is for characteristics. The next C is for characteristics. The F is for function. The F is for function. The I is for inlet, what we call thoracic inlet. The M is for meaning or introduction. That's where we say we start from the end to the beginning. Okay, you start from, your end, and then you start from there. That boosts your motivation from the beginning. Okay, so now moving away from there, we said J stands for joint of the thorax, and we said there are about a number of joints of the thorax. We use the acronym, okay, C6SMS. C with the eyes. Okay, I think I need to get my lenses. Okay, that's a minute, please. Okay, so my lens, right? So now we are getting serious, right? Yeah, it says C6 SMS. So to list the joints, the number of joints that is in the thorax, we say C, and the C is not the C with eyeglass. Yeah, that's why I needed to go get my eyeglass. Okay, it is CI, all right, and then 6 is not the usual 6 you and I know in English. It is CIX. You know, the 6 we know in English is SIX, but in anatomy of thorax, the 6 is CIX. So C6. Are you seeing it now? C6. Okay. Now we move on. It says C6 SMS. Okay. Look at it. SMS. You're tapping with the phone. Okay, that's SMS in your phone. So remember the essence of acronym. It is using what it is forming, okay, a new word, not really a new word, it is forming words, okay, using letters of new words, okay, to connect new thing, concept you want to learn with existing words you already know. We already know SMS, we already know 6, we already know number 6, we already know how to see. So you want to connect those ones you already know with a new thing we have not known. Look at how new these words we have not known are. For example, we say so sorry about that, just a little glitch in network. So we said acronym, okay, is forming words which you already know, okay, to be able to remember new words or concepts which you want to know. So like now the joints, there are some new words in them which you may not have known before, or you may have known, maybe someone mentioned to you, for those of you who have done this part of a course before, but it's strange to retain, okay, to store, all right? So we are using this now. And C6 SMS, are you seeing it now? C6 SMS. What does that mean? The CI for C stands for costochondria. I stands for interchondria. Did you see it now? Costochondria, interchondria. So the first type of joint is costochondria joint. All right, costochondria joint. The next type of joint is interchondria joint. Okay, interchondria joint. Now let's look at 6. Remember, 6 is not the usual SIX. It is the CIX, where the C stands for what? Costovertebral joint. Costovertebral joint. And then the I stands for intervertebral joint. Now, if you see the material we studied, it was not arranged that way. And that's the uniqueness of this platform. We are not plagiarizing, we are internalizing, and we are interacting to make the concept and the concepts in the preclinical session of the lectures to become easy. Are you seeing it now? So if someone wants to discuss anatomy of the thorax, he said JEXIFIM, that stands for joint, the extent, that stands for the composition, the characteristics, that stands for the function, the inlet, that stands for the meaning of thorax. Yes, of course, there is outlet, there is blood supply, nerve supply, venous returns, there is this clinical situation, and there's a van or this intercostal muscle, intercostal vans, there's the thoracic cavity, there's thoracic cage, but that's not what we are looking at here. We are learning this concept in piecemeal, a little here today, a little here another time. Do you follow? Thumbs up if you are with me. You are there in the comment section. Thumbs up if you are with me, if you are following. All right, so we move on. We said that we said that JEG theme. Normally we should start from meaning, which is introduction, but now we know that joint is the end of what we study in piecemeal and keep in the afternoon. So we say joint. They are about CI, CIX, we say C6 SMS, SMS. So there are about 7 joints, 7 major joints in the thorax. 7 major joints in the thorax. Are we together? Do you follow? 7 major joints in the thorax? Good. Now, out of these 7 major joints in the thorax, we use the acronym C6 SMS, SMS, okay, SMS, C6 SMS. Are you following? Good. Because we see in anatomy, what you capture, all right, is easy to scripture, to return, to retrieve, to write out. Are you following? If you understand this. Now we move on. Okay, we said, I think I've lost my host, and he's the one I was teaching. So I hope he's going to join later. Yeah, he may be having a little network issue, but let's continue. When he joins, I can take that over again. So we said, Jake Sifin brings retention. Okay, good. Now, the next one we said that if you have Jake Sifin, J stands for joint of thorax, like the shoulder joint, elbow joint, but this is thorax now. This is thorax now, not the upper limb. Are you following? But you discuss these joints based the way you also discuss joints in upper and lower limb. Are you following now? Okay, now we move on and we also say that we have a concept called what? Joint. Joint, there are about 8 joints in the thorax, and we use the acronym C6 SMS. Are you seeing what I'm doing? Okay. At least if you forget anything, you cannot forget. You know, everybody is used to phone. What you are used to will make you not to forget what you need to be used to. You didn't hear that part. So you are used to phone, and you are used to seeing, and you are used to what else? What else are you used to? You are used to number 6. Okay, something like item 6. You know now. Come on, sub-Saharan region about. They say item 6 in any event. Okay. So when we use what we are used to retain what we are not used to, which we need to be used to because of how useful it is. Okay. So the CI, not the SEE, the C now is SI. C in anatomy is different from C in English. Okay, so the CI means C for costochondral joint. Chondra is spelled CHONDRAL. CHONDRAL. Costochondral joint. Are you following? Good. So C is costochondral joint and I is interchondral joint. So we mentioned 2 joints now. Now, the next joint is 6. 6, the first C is costovertebral joint. Costovertebral joint. And the I is intervertebral joint. Intervertebral joint. Do you follow? Now, the X there is xiphistenal joint. Xiphistenal joint. Okay, good. Xiphistenal meaning there is a cervix, xiphoid process here. Okay, close to the body of the sternum, which is close to the mandible of the sternum, which is close to the anterior border of the thoracic inlet. Don't worry, we are going to make progress. Okay, now we move on and we said that, watch this closely, that xiphistenal joint is the 5th joint of the thorax. Remember where we are coming from? We said C6 SMS, and we said the C is CI and the 6 is CIX. Now, so we say C and I is for costochondral joint. You got that right? Now, the C and the I in 6, that's CIX. The C and the I is costovertebral joint and intervertebral joint. The other one was costochondral joint, interchondral joint, whereas this one is costovertebral joint and and intervertebral joint. Now the X is the xiphi-sternal joint. When the xiphoid process and the sternal part of the sternum, okay, where they join is called xiphi-sternal joint. Now we go to the first X there is sternoclavicular joint. Okay, there's a sternum here, the collarbone, and there is a bone separating the two pairs of ribs, 12 pairs of ribs. Okay, we said that joint between the clavicle and that sternum is called sternoclavicular joint. Now the M there is manubriosternal joint. There is a manubrum, the upper part of the sternum, okay, joining with the body of the sternum. The body of the sternum joins with the side of paper in the afternoon. We taught from book in the paper in the afternoon, but this time around we are teaching from brain, okay? Internalize it, we share it. So that's how we do it. And then we say join the medicine surgery course WhatsApp channel, so that once you internalize with me in the afternoon or in the day or in a certain session, you can come in there and share your thoughts, what you learned, what you wrote down, what you jotted down, what you magneted, and there we can score you. That's how we learn. You must learn to earn from what you learn. You must earn to practice to become perfect. But I tell you, practice doesn't guarantee perfection. Practice brings improvement, because each time you want to do it again, you see it done in a better way. Are you following me now? Thumbs up if you are following me. Now we move on to the next one, and we started from C6 SMS. Look at it. CCI 6 CIX SMS. So we have done C for costochondral joints. We've done I for interchondral joints. We've done the next C for costovertebral joint, and the next I for intervertebral joint. And then we done the X as xiphi-sternal joint, and now we are going to SMS. Can I digress a little? You see, watch the way I arrange thoughts. It is called lines of thought. We must have time to arrange this thought. This thing has scattered for us, and they are having strange words of Latin and English. Now, in histology, for example, we said histology based on layer classification, epithelial tissue based on layer classification. We have stratified, simple, STS from Sunday, from search the scripture. Okay, we are coming to use to, for those of us who attend that church where they teach us the scripture as Sunday school. We say simple squamous epithelium, stratified squamous epithelium. You come to simple again, simple cuboidal epithelium. The other side, stratified cuboidal epithelium. We come to simple again, simple columnar epithelium. You go to the other side, stratified columnar epithelium. See how we arrange thoughts. But when this thing we taught in material, it was not arranged that way. So our place here and our uniqueness is to transform what is not transformable to things that is easy to master. Do you follow? And is it making sense to you? Thumbs up if you are with me. Someone is saying I should change my channel to a thumbs up channel. I like doing thumbs up. Yes, I like finding out if my people see now my guest is saying thumbs up. So let's go back to what we were doing, which was check C thing. And the J there is for joint. And we say for joint, we use the acronym words SC6 SMS. Okay, now for the E, we said SIP, to sip. Okay, to sip. Either you sip Gary in the sub-Saharan region of Africa, or you sip your cornflakes, or you sip your smoothie, or you sip, do you understand, your golden one, or whatever. Now, for the C composition, we say STP, like standard temperature and pressure in biochemistry on the ordinary level chemistry. But here in anatomy, it doesn't mean standard pressure and pressure. It means composition of thorax, that is sternum, okay, thoracic vertebra for T, and then the pairs of ribs, 12 pairs of ribs. Now we talk about the the characteristics. We said SMSTTD, SMSTTD, that is the skin first, okay, then the superficial fascia, okay, then the deep fascia, okay, then you have the muscle, you have the thoracic cage, the thoracic cavity, all right. And then when you move to the next one, that's a function of the thorax is to protect the what? The function of the thorax is to protect, okay, the abdominal viscera. All right, that's why they call it TAP, thorax, abdomen, pelvis, and perineum, because thorax protects the abdominal viscera. What does that mean? It means the internal organ that is in a region called abdomen. And then the idea is thoracic inlet, and we say V-squared man. V-squared man is what we use to define, to mention the structures that passes through the thorax. And not only that, the last one is M, which is meaning of thorax. We said IRAN, Iran. Who does not know Iran? Watch how we use what we are used to learn what we are not used to, so that we'll be used to what we need to be used to, which we are not used to. You say, I'm not used to strange word. It does medicine means dying. To study anatomy doesn't mean death. Is digging my grave the same as studying nursing or pharmacy? If you join the channel, you share the channel with such a person, you see how we demystify. See how we get such person to master concepts that are not masterable because of the approach of presentation. Do you follow me now? Okay, so if you want me to talk slowly, join the session we teach, internalize. This session is to interact. This session is to recite what we read, interact what we internalize. It's a session to coin what we capture in the picture called book. It's a session to boost our retentive memory, retrieval capacity, and is a session to do what? To face one course until we succeed. Now we move on now. I come back to the joints of the thorax. The joints of the thorax, you see, I've explained that all those things, Jake, see in just less than few minutes, not even up to 20 minutes or 15. That's why I said, when you join me, we are going to reduce the whole of the anatomy to a piece of paper. Not only that, we are going to make it at your fingertip. If you can touch your skin, you can touch the anatomy. If you can touch your skin, you can see the joint. C6 SMS. Now the C6 SMS, the C6 SMS, okay, C6 SMS is what? What is this? C6 SMS, C for costochondral joint, I for interchondral joint, and then C for costovertebral joint, I for intervertebral joint, X for syphisternal joint, and then now we want to look at SMS. S for sternoclavicular joint, okay, let's put it this way, sternoclavicular joint, let's put it this way. I have this lecture, very lovely lecture, professor. You like say, okay, let's put it this way. He's trying to think of a way to put it to a 5-year-old, to these teenagers and young adults are coming to study this anatomy that is not really atomic, So we move on, okay. We said sternoclavicular joint. The M there stands for mandibular-sternal joint. Mandibular-sternal joint. That is spelled MANUBRIOSTERNAL. Mandibular-sternal joint, or you can say mandibular-sternal joint. Okay, moving away from there, the last S there, watch this one, is synchondrosis. Synchondrosis. So I'm going to pause at this point now and bring in our guest to tell me if he can recall the things I'm teaching him. If he wrote it down, let him say it out. Let him voice it out, okay, before I will move to thoracic inlet. Now, those were the two things we internalize in the afternoon. Remember, in this channel, one of the measures we use is to internalize medical concept in piecemeal. That's the aim of this channel. That's the goal of this channel. That's the niche of this channel. There are a lot to understand, but we understand them in piecemeal. But not only that, we accumulate them. Like in the first time, it was Jake Siffin. We only look at meaning, we we look at the function, we look at the characteristics, we look at the components, and we look at extent. We didn't look at the joints, we didn't look at the inlet or the thoracic inlet, but today again, another day we look at the inlet and joints. And now this evening we are accumulating the piecemeal of the other section and the piecemeal of the second section. And then another day now, we're going to look at the thoracic venous returns, its lymphatic drainage, if there is any, the blood supply, the nerve supply, and we're going to look at their anatomical relevance, the thoracic outlet, the van, that's a vascular bundle, the intercostal spaces, and the special intercostal muscle. We're going to look at that in another session, internalizing it from book. We're going to look at it from book. Okay, we read from book, teach from book. But after that, we're going to be teaching it from brain, accumulating it with the other one we've already done. Is disturbing us. Okay, so you amass, you accumulate one block upon the other. You grow every day, you accumulate every day, you mount up on wings like eagle. Are we together now? So read your book, recite every day if you want to retain it. Okay, so over to you, our guest. Talk to us. What about the joints of the thorax Can you list the joints? And in the comment section, can you drop the message for us? You who will be watching this replay of live session, just join the session, just reply to us. Yes, let's over to you now.
Okay, yeah, yes, sir. Good evening, sir. The thorax, where we saw a mnemonic, the SMS6, where the A stands for.
Hello, what is happening? I can't see your mouth. I need to see your mouth to be sure you got it. If you didn't get it, I teach you again, all over again. I want to see your mouth.
Before A stands for the steno. Stands for. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The joint where we saw the SMS6, we saw that the first S stands for the psychondrotic joint. Then we have the manubosternum joint.
Please voice out, bring out your voice, loud your voice, increase your voice.
A vertebral joint. The X stands for the sternum joint. Then we return the composition, the characteristics, the features, the the meaning and the extent of the joint, sir. Well, so that the joint is the region between the abdomen and the neck. So we use the acronym around. Then we looked at the of the joint. Well, we saw the SM. And we have that the skin comes first. After the skin, at superficial fissure, the deep fissure, the the thoracic cavity, and lastly cavity. So we just want to look at the composition So we saw that we have the sternum, the the thoracic vertebra, and the top part of it. Then we went to look at the extent of the thorax. Then we saw that extent first, okay, it begins at the superior mesosternum, the passive inferior mesosternum, and then it stops at the posterior mesosternum. Then we went on to look at the feature, what we saw the feature of the thorax, which the thorax protects the visceral organ. Uh,
Are you done? I can't hear you. Are you done? Are you done? I can't hear you.
I'm done,
Okay,
sir.
so did you mention the eight the eight types of joints in the thorax?
Sir?
Did you mention the eight types of joints in the thorax that I just shared with you?
Yes, I mentioned it, the mandibulosternum joint and the rest.
Okay, thank you. So now I'm going to share with you the inlet of the thorax, that is thoracic inlet. Okay, do you follow? Do you follow? I want to share with you thoracic inlet now, the structures that are passing through the inlet. Are you ready for this?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thumbs up. So now we said the thoracic inlet, okay, is also called the superior aperture of the thorax, SAT. Some people call it superior thoracic aperture. All right. So whether you call it superior thoracic aperture or superior aperture of the thorax, SAT, okay, whether SAT or STA, all right, that is another name for the what? The thoracic inlet. Just like we say suprasternal, okay, suprasternal joint is another name for the uh, uh, this jugular notch. A jugular notch is the superior edge of the mandible. Okay, so now we are saying another name for this. Now, we would have loved to talk about the relation of this inlet. That is, anteriorly in front, what do you find? Posteriorly at the back, what do you find? All right, and then to this side and this other side, what do you find? Okay, so you find the first rib, okay, by the left, the first rib by the left and by the right, and then anteriorly you find the mandible, okay, the mandible, and then anteriorly you find mandible, and posteriorly you find the first thoracic vertebra, the first thoracic vertebra. Okay, don't forget components of thoracic vertebra, we say STP, sternum, all right, and that mandible is in front of the sternum, upper part of the sternum. And then we said thoracic vertebra, that's the thorax, okay, big thoracic vertebra at the back, all right. And then we said superiorly you find the neck. So the thoracic inlet continues as the neck, all right, continues as the neck. Do you follow? Do you follow? Okay. Okay, so now we want to look at the structures that passes through the thorax. So as we said, V man, V man, V and man. Very simple. This is letter M and letter A and letter N. V-M-A-N. That is V as in very, M as in mango, A as in aeroplane, and N as in Nathaniel. Do you follow? Thumbs up if you follow. Now, if you don't follow, ask in the comment question you don't follow. Okay, once so if you don't follow, you drop question on the comment section. YouTube will notify and we will do what? We'll answer it anytime we come online. We'll try our best to answer our amiable subscribers. Okay, so we move on. And we now said, okay, that the inlet, the V there, we say V squared. That's V, V squared. All right, V squared MAN. The first V stands for, watch this now, viscera. Viscera, okay, viscera. Remember, when we're saying the function of thorax, I'm connecting it now because the best way to retain is to relate. The best way to retain is to relate. If you don't have relational skill, you cannot retain. So to partner, you must pronounce, you must talk to be stuck. Now let's move on. We said that the vida is a viscera. That is the internal organ in the thorax. When we talk about the function of the thorax, we said that thorax protects the abdominal viscera. The abdominal viscera. That was what we said. Now, if you are not there, please watch the video. Go watch the video, is in the channel. We've done that. Okay, both the screenshots where we share the screen and the one we interacted, what we internalize when we share the screen. Do you follow? I believe you are with me. So we move on. We move on. The next thing now is, okay, the next V now is vein. Vein. V-E-I-N. Vein. All right. Vein always accompanies artery. Are you with me? Okay. Now, V-A-N, we usually say vein, artery, and nerves. They usually go side by side. But this time, muscle is also going with them. That's why we say V square man. All right. Now, you know of P square. This one is V square. You know of V man. All right. You know of T. You know of P square. But this one is V man. All right. V man. Someone I used to call T man. This one is V man. This one is V man. Okay. Yeah. This man, maybe his head is V or is V or the head shape is V. Okay, V man. All right. So the first V is what? Visceral organ. Okay, visceral organ. We are going to list the visceral organ. The next one is vein, and we are going to list the vein. The next one is man. We are going to list the man. The next one is artery. That's the M there is muscle man. A there is artery. We are going to list the artery. In fact, if you know the vein, you know the artery. The difference is instead of writing artery at the end, you write vein. That's we are talking about vein. And the last thing there is nerve. The last thing there is nerve. Let's continue. I'm going to take that over again in case you want to take notes. I said for the inlet of the thorax or the thoracic inlet, we use the mnemonics or the acronym V man. V man. Sorry, V squared man. The first V stands for viscera. Viscera. That is internal structure that passes through it. Okay. The next V there is veins. That is the great vessels in the thorax. There's a topic we did that was called great vessels of the thorax. We did it offline. We're going to do it online so that people will appreciate how simplified you can approach the concept of the great vessels of the thorax. Okay, so now we said the next The first V is viscera, the second V is vein, the M there is muscle, and the A there is artery, and the N there is nerve. Now, are you following that part? Did you get that part, my guess? Thumbs up if you get that part, my guess. Good, good. That's giving me thumbs up. So we move on. We now say that we have viscera. How do we know the visceral organ? Is it just one visceral organ or are they more? Now we use the acronym again, rotator. Rotator. R-O-T-A-T-O. Rotator. Now this rotator, you write capital R, small letter O, watch this now, small letter T, then capital A, capital T, capital O. I'm going to do that again. For the visceral organs that passes through the aperture of the thorax or the thoracic inlet, we said rotator. That is ROT, capital R, small letter O, small letter T, meaning ROT is one visceral organ. Now, capital O is another visceral organ. Sorry, capital A, because after ROT is A, I say rotator. Now, capital A is what? Another visceral organ. Then capital T is another visceral organ. And capital O is another visceral organ. Did you follow me, my guess? Thumbs up if you are following me.
No, sir, I'm not hearing you, sir.
Okay, I'm going to repeat that again. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Come
Yes,
on.
sir. Yes, sir.
Can you hear me now?
sir.
Can you hear me now? My guess? Okay. So I said viscera, to know the viscera, because viscera is internal organ. All right. To know the internal organ that passes through the thorax, that is introducing region, as thorax is region, okay, between the abdomen, okay, abdomen and the neck. I is, R is region, okay, A is abdomen, and N is neck. So meaning of thorax or introduction to thorax, we say Iran or Iran. That is, thorax is a region, okay? Thorax is a region, watch this now, it's a region between the abdomen and the neck, okay? So there are structures that passes through the superior part of the thorax. We call it superior aperture of the thorax, SAT, as your SAT. Okay, now we said V squared man is the acronym for it. V squared man is the first V stands for viscera, and we said the next V stands for vein. Veins are great vessels of the heart. And the next letter M is for muscle, and the next letter A is for arteries of the heart, and then N is for nerves of the heart. You follow that up to that part? Thumbs up if you follow up. Station in the viscera. We say rotator, R-O-T-A-T-O, rotator, R-O-T-A-T-O, rotator, R-O-T-A-T-O, rotator. All right. Now I say write it vertically. How do you write? R-O-T is one line. A is another line. T is another line. And then the last O is another line. Now that is to say capital R, small letter O, small letter T. The next line. Capital A, the next line. Capital T, the next line. Capital O. That forms it rotator. So if you want that thing you studied to store well straight in your brain, you write it vertical. You get the point now? Now we move on. We now said ROT stands for remains of thymus. Remains of thymus. Remains means it's spelled R-E-M-A-I-N-S. Remains of thymus. Did you follow that part? My guess? I can't see your thumbs up, or you unmute yourself and answer me. Did you follow what ROT stands for? Thumbs up if you are following. Good. So we look at the next letter, letter A.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The letter A stands for apex of the lungs. Okay, of the lung plural. Or you can say the apex of the lung and the apex of the plural. Okay, so plural of apices. Now listen, plural of the lungs is different from singular plural, which is the opposite of singular, in English. So this plural is spelled P-L-E-U-R-A, whereas the plural that is singular in English is spelled P-L-E-U-R-A-L. Are you seeing the difference now, my guess? Thumbs up if you are with me. If you are getting value from this session, dear subscriber, dear viewer, please subscribe and then do what? Also comment, like, share this channel. You're really gaining this mastery. You're really what we are doing here, and you appreciate we should do more. What you can do for us is share, subscribe, get people to subscribe, get medical student, get nursing student, get pharmacy, any clinical student, preclinical student or paraclinical student, year 1, year 2, year whatever, to subscribe this channel, because this is a vision, it's a big vision, but we are going to take it in bit, take our time and then to do it, so that an average person who does not like studying will make sure that studying likes him. So it's either you study or study will study you. Okay, now we move on. The next thing we want to look at is the veins of the thorax. The veins. Okay, remember the first was viscera, then we say rotator. Oh, we've not finished it. Okay, let's finish what rotator stands for. ROT stands for remains of thymus. Thymus is spelled THYMUS, remains of thymus. The A there stands for apices of the lungs and pleura. Pleura is a membrane that covers, separates the lungs from any other structure in the thoracic cavity. That's the meaning of pleura. Okay, you appreciate that better in histology. We said example of histology is celamere, and the L there was lining of cavity of pleura, serous, and peritoneal cavity. That's what we said, celamere. Okay, the S was epidermis, the E was ependyma of the brain ventricles, okay, and the L was the lungs, lumen of the lungs, the A was the alveoli, okay, the alveoli, and then the N there was the mesothelium, E was endothelium, L was lining of the pleura, serous cavity, and peritoneal cavity. And there was a video we made, please go watch that video, okay, where we said there's a difference between peritoneum and perineum. Peritoneum and perineum. Peritoneum is the lining, it's a membrane, okay, that covers organs in the abdomen, whereas perineum is the region containing the external genitalia and the anal orifice between the legs, where you have mung pubis, and into the bones you have pubic symphysis. All right, that's by the way. We are connecting what we have captured. We are coining what we have captured. That's what you saw. Say, let's coin what we captured. Let's recite what we read. Let's interact what we internalize. And let's face one cause until we succeed. You're gaining vessels and you're gaining from this session. I want from this channel, please share, comment, like, and ask questions. And join our channel, WhatsApp channel, MedSurge, MEDSURGCORSE, MedSurge Course Mastery. It's a WhatsApp channel where we learn what we have learned, we practice it. So before you come and present like this or be a guest, you must practice. Even if you don't have opportunity to practice with me live here one-on-one, you can practice there. We test, we mark you, and that people who are assisting to lead this thing to make sure we study and store it very well, so that any day we have clinical situation, because the world, our family, and everyone believes in us. So we must maximize the time they are giving to us. We must make our try our best to make sure we study it well, store it well, practice retrieving anytime is needed. That's not the time to bring a big book. okay, but we retrieve it from our brain because we make good use of the privilege they give to us. So the veins here, to talk about the veins, which is the next V, we said BSc. You've heard of BSc before. BSc Anatomy, BSc English, BSc Bachelor of Science. That's what BSc mean. That's what BSc mean. Now, but this time, BSc does not mean Bachelor of Science. BSc means the brachiocephalic vein. Yes, the brachiocephalic vein is for B. Then S is the left subclavian vein. And then the C is the left common carotid vein. Do you follow? I'm going to say that again. BSc. B is for what? You see, it's like we don't study here without acronym. It's like we either study here with mnemonics or with acronym. Because we said this is just one of the easiest way to master something. You know, every day we hear of BSc. Oh, my son did BSc, my daughter did BSc this. Oh, I want BSc. In fact, there's a book called Idiots with BSc. Yeah, somebody wrote that book. In fact, the person who wrote that book also wrote a book 31, it was 31 lessons he learns from a prostitute. Can you imagine that? You know, the person is such I don't know, such a paradoxical and such a oxymoron of a writer. Okay, well, let's leave that there. BSc. B for brachiocephalic vein, S for left subclavian vein, and then C for left common carotid vein. Do you follow it now? Thumbs up if you are following me now. Or do I repeat myself, my guess? And those of you who will be watching the...
Please
Okay,
repeat.
pay attention. Stay one place so you take notes. Stay one place. You are moving around. Stay one place. Okay? Stay one place. I said BSc for the veins in that passes through the thoracic aperture. I said B is for the brachiocephalic vein. Brachiocephalic vein. Okay? Now, S is for left subclavian vein. Left subclavian vein. All right? Now, the C is for left common carotid vein. Left common carotid vein. Okay? And you may wonder, why is it left? Because the bulk of the heart, okay, is to the left. Bulk of the heart is to the left. All right, let's continue. Let's continue. All right, let's continue. We now move on. We said the next item there is M, muscle. Muscle. There are a lot of muscles in the thorax, but the one we are considering is the one that passes through the superior aperture of the thorax, SAT, or the superior thoracic aperture, one that passes in through that aperture. It's like a circle, an opening that allows things to pass. Okay, remember the next time we'll be studying the one that passes out. The one that passes out, we call it thoracic outlet. Now we are talking about the thoracic inlet, structures that passes into it. Okay, when we are talking about the passing out, you'll be hearing things like arcuate ligament, arcuate median. You know, interesting thing like, no, let's not jump once that time we'll do it. Okay, because I don't want to be talking things that, wow, when this end? When will I end this? Okay, no. When you're gonna enjoy it when we do it. That's why always come live. Always come live. When we schedule live session to study together, come let's study. It's not really easy, but come let's study. Okay, now we move on. We said the end there is muscle. Okay, there are three muscles that passes through that. The first one is stenohyoid. Stenohyoid, named after the sternum. Okay, stenohyoid. All right. The first muscle is stenohyoid. In fact, I call it SSL. SSL. You know, we have SS3, senior secondary 3. But this one is senior secondary. I didn't put it now. I leave that for you. Okay. I guess I can't see your mouth to know whether you are smiling or not. Learning can be fun. So don't be too serious. Let's see your mouth. All right. So we move on. Now we said SSL, stenohyoid muscle, sternothyroid muscle, and longus colli. Stenohyoid muscle, stenothyroid muscle, longus, longus what? Wow, we have
Longus
such
column.
a challenge here. We have such a challenge here. My light went off. Okay, so we'll try and round up so that the video will look somehow. Okay, so those are the three muscles that passes through the thorax. Okay, hyoid muscle. Hyoid is neck. Okay, that's why I say it passes through the sternum and hyoid. Hyoid has to do with the neck. Stenohyoid muscle. We have stenothyroid muscle. There's a thyroid organ there, so that muscle is named after the thyroid. And then we have longus coli. Longus coli. All right. The next one we find is the arteries of the thorax. Did you get I hope you got the muscles that passes through the thoracic inlet. Hope you got it right. Good. Now let's talk about the artery. We said three arteries passes through it, just like three veins passes through it. Remember the veins? What was the vein again that passes through it? What was the acronym for the vein? Yes, BSC. Where B stands for what? Yes, brachiocephalic vein. And then S stands for what? Left subclavian vein. And the C stands for what? Left common carotid vein. Now for artery is the same thing. The only difference is instead of putting vein, you will put in artery. So BAC, artery also have BAC. Vein has BAC. So it's not only students that have BAC. Okay, so we move on. So this one is now brachiocephalic artery, left subclavian artery, and the left common carotid artery. Do you follow? Thumbs up if you are following. Thumbs up if you are following. Thumbs up if you are following. Okay, the last thing we are going to talk about is going to be the nerve. Before we end this session, it's going to be the nerve. We're going to mention the nerves. Okay. All right. So the nerve now. Okay. The nerve now is watch this now. PVSL. PVSL. All right. PVSL. All right. Now we're going to find something. We talk about PVC. This one is PVSL. Okay. Pivot. Okay. Can also be point value. Can also be whatever. PVSL. Okay. Let's just learn it like that. So the P there stands for phrenic nerve. Stands for phrenic nerve. All right. And the V there stands for vagus nerve. Vagus nerve is one of the 12 cranial nerves. We have done the 12 cranial nerves, their mnemonics and what they stand for. We're going to repeat that in this channel so you can learn the 12 cranial nerves without ease. Okay, the vagus nerve is the 10th nerve. Okay, while the facial nerve is the 7th nerve. Now let's move on. Vagus nerve, phrenic nerve, PVSF. Then the S there is sympathetic trunk nerve. Sympathetic trunk nerve. I'm going to say that again. Sympathetic trunk nerve. Sympathetic trunk nerve. So we have the P there, which is the phrenic nerve. Okay, because of the C4, there's a C4 is the phrenic nerve, and then we have the vagus nerve. Okay, that's the longest cranial nerve in the body. All right, the longest cranial nerve in the body. Now we move on. We talk about the what? Talk about the sympathetic trunk nerve, and then the last one, which is the left recurrent intercostal laryngeal nerve. The left, okay, the left recurrent is anything that is going on. Now you need this because when we'll be teaching anastomosis, they'll teach you collateral and recurrent. So anything that is going up, we call it recurrent in anatomy, and anything that is coming down, we call it what? Collateral. Okay. Now I said anything. That does not mean anything. Okay, because things that is up, we call it proximal, caudal, cranial, superior. Do you follow? But this one, when it has to do with artery, okay, we said anything that is what? Anything that is, any artery that is going on, we call it recurrent artery, okay, and it's going, I call it collateral artery. So this left, okay, this nerve is on the left side. This nerve is found in the intercostal spaces, and this nerve is what is also laryngeal, and laryngeal is a branch continuation of vagus nerve. And you won't appreciate this on video. Great vessels of the thorax. Okay, that's the superior vena cava, inferior vena cava. Talk about the aorta. We talk about the what do you call it again? Inferior vena cava, superior vena, aorta, and the other one. So when we come there, we talk about that. Okay, so that's what we need to say. See, we've said all these things, and this ends the session now. Okay, this ends the session. We have talked about JEC, C theme, joints, J for joint, E for extent, C for composition, next C for characteristics, F for function, I for inlet or thoracic inlet, M for meaning or introduction. Meaning or introduction, we said Iran, that is, thorax is the region between the abdomen and the neck. That's the meaning of Iran or Iran. Then for the inlet, we said V, okay, V squared man. First V is for viscera. The viscera we said rotator, and then the rotator we said remains of thymus, apices of the lungs, and apices of the lung and the pleura. Pleura is the membrane that covers the lungs, okay, that separates the lungs from other visceral organs in the thorax. And then we said T is for trachea and O is for esophagus. T is for, that's rotator now. T is for trachea and O is for esophagus. Those are the viscera that pass through. Now the vein that pass through, we say BSC, that is brachiocephalic vein, left subclavian vein, and the left common carotid vein. The muscle that passes through the thoracic aperture, superior thoracic aperture, we said it is the SSL. You have SS3. This one is SSL. Stenohyoid, thyroid, and longus colli. Now we talk about the arteries that passes through it. He said it's the same thing as the vein. The difference is that you call this one BSC artery. The other one is BSC vein. Even vein has BSC. Even artery has BSC. So the BSC artery, the BSC artery is the BSC artery is brachiocephalic artery, the left subclavian artery, and the left common carotid artery. The nerve, we said PVSL. P is for phrenic nerve, and the V is for vagus nerve, is the 10th cranial nerve and the longest. Then the S is the sympathetic trunk nerve, and then the L is the left recurrent laryngeal nerve. Remember, left recurrent intercostal laryngeal nerve, because we said it is the branch of the vagus nerve. Now we move on and we said this is what is for inlet of thorax. And you talk about function of thorax. Thorax is what's the function of thorax? It protects the abdominal viscera, and those viscera, you saw it in the rotator, in the V squared man. And then we talk about the characteristics of thorax, SMS TTD, that is the skin first, okay, the superficial fascia, the deep fascia, the muscle, the thoracic cage, that's the rib cage, and then the thoracic cavity, the placental space where the visceral organs are. Then we talk about the composition of thorax, that is the STP, standard temperature. In anatomy, we said it means the sternum, it means the thoracic vertebrae posteriorly, and the pairs of rib, STP, S for sternum, T for thoracic vertebrae, P for pairs of the pairs of the rib, 12 of them. We talk about the extent of the thorax, superior mediastinum through the inferior mediastinum down and ends at the posterior mediastinum, SIP. Then the joint of the thorax, we say C6 SMS. Remember C6 SMS. That means costochondral joint, interchondral joint, costovertebral joint, intervertebral joint, xiphostenal joint. See, xiphosis process is here, sternum is here, xiphostenal joint, and then S, sternoclavicular joint. That's clavicle is here or here. So it's that sternoclavicular joint or sternoclavicular joint. Okay, so the clavicle is there, sternoclavicular joint. M is manubriosternal joint. So the manubrum is up here, up of the sternum of body of the sternum. Manubriosternal joint. That's manubrum and sternum, body of sternum. Okay, manubriosternal joint. Then the S is so the last S is synchondrosis. Okay, synchondrosis. All right. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being a part of this live session. Hello, my guests. You say hi to your people before we call it a day. If you want to be our guest, ladies and gentlemen, well, we welcome you and we you join our channel, you message us in the comment, you subscribe, like, share. This is not a condition. Okay, anybody can be and decide to be our guest in our channel. Okay, so tomorrow again we're going to come up live. So I'm going to find out when we're going to have a guest for live session tomorrow. If it's going to be by the usual 9 o'clock, I think the usual 9 o'clock is okay. So we're going to have a session by the usual 9 o'clock. Either we have a session by the usual 9 o'clock or we have the session by 8 a.m. All right. Whatever is the case, we're going to have a session tomorrow morning, either 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. We're going to have a session in the morning tomorrow. Okay, and the link will be dropped there in the channel. You see upcoming live study session where we study from material, study from book. We are still looking at thorax, thorax, abdomen, and perineum. But tomorrow we are going to bring in upper and lower limb again. Okay, internalize some of the mnemonics and some of what it stands for, how to write and pass in theory in upper and lower limb, and we make a little recap of histology general and systemic. Make a little recap of embryology general and systemic embryology, and then we do what we also consider this thorax again deep into, so that we see the thoracic outlet, we see the structure passes through blood supply, nerve supply. We need to look at the ascending lumbar veins as they return blood, okay, back to the subcostal vein, as they return blood to the hemiazygous vein, they return blood to the accessory hemiazygous vein, which return blood to the azygous vein, which return blood to the superior vena cava, and the superior vena cava sends the blood to the right atrium, which sends the blood to the right ventricle, which sends the blood, which is deoxygenated, to the lungs for oxygenator, that returns the blood to the left atrium, which returns the blood to, this is oxygenated now to the right ventricle, which to the left ventricle, which pumps the blood into the aortic that supplies the arteries, okay, that do what? And that's where you start seeing subclavian artery, all those big arteries that we talk about. So you see, anatomy is connected. Whichever way you touch, it leads you to anatomy. Okay, so that's why we say master your anatomy in this channel. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you very much for making our day, and we hope you are fine. See you in the morning and see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to have more people joining, and so thank you once again. So say hi to our listeners in the comment section. Our dear guest, talk to us. Okay, you're the one that will end it here.
Yeah, so good day, everyone. For today's section, before we end, I would like to share with you some things from the section. So yeah, today we're looking at the thoracic. We're looking at the thoracic inlet, V square man, where we saw that the first V stands for the we saw the mnemonics, the rotator, where we saw the first ROT, that means the remains of the thymus, the the plural, the T as the trachea, and the passes through the thorax, where we have the bronchiotic are the muscles. The muscles are like the sternothyroid and the longus collar. Then we went on to look at the veins that passes the thorax. We also have the various the left common chaotic artery and the left subclavian artery. Then we went on to look at the nerves that passes through the the thorax, where we saw the four nerves that passes through the thorax. That is the 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 phrenic nerve, the sympathetic, the sympathetic trunk nerve, uh, the vagus nerve, and the left recurrent
Intercostal laryngeal nerve.
intercostal. Mm, ah, that is what is too big for me to remember now, sir. So like, yes,
I
like that. I think
understand.
I
So
was
you
able
need
to
to go
get
through it
easy.
again. So you need to go through it again, all right? I was rushing because of lighting, so you need to go through it again. And then after you're done, you use the channel to send us, because tomorrow I'll disturb you with this again to be sure that you got it correct, all right? Yeah. And I believe in each and every one of you, our wonderful guests. Okay, so let's make it a date. Is that okay now? All right. So I think we call it a day here now, right? All right. Once again, so say bye-bye to our subscribers and viewers in the comment section. Okay, and those who will be listening to this, say hi to them and then tell them one or two things about the channel. Is there any challenge you are facing? Okay, or you're studying from far away, your own school, this one, this is a different school. One or two things you can say that you appreciate about this channel. Okay. Okay, so it's like network is having issue, so we end it here. Once again, viewers in the comment section, thank you very much. Don't forget what we have shared with you. Take your time, listen to it again, all right? And then write it out, and then recite it, and then interact it, and then send the recorded session, audio recorded session to us in the Made Such Course Mastery WhatsApp channel. Okay, that is MEDSURGCORSE, then Mastery. Made Such Course, that's course like course code now. That's the course we mean. The reason is to help us make sure we really internalize this. We interact with finance. So it's not just teaching, because if you want to forget, just read. If you want to retain, just teach. That's the truth. So me that's teaching you now, I get 90%. You that this guest now is 70%. But guess what? If he goes and teach it out, all right, from book, guess what? He retains 90%. If he space repeats it like we usually do, it is 100%. It's now his own forever. Do you follow me now? Thumbs up if you are with me. All right. So once again, thank you and bye-bye to each and every one of you. It's been a 52 minutes of wonderful session. And we said, happy week, happy month weekend. And don't forget your coastal chondral joint to don't give someone your coastal chondral joint to, don't let someone break your coastal chondral joint to, and your interchondral joint, don't let someone, don't give someone your interchondral joint to, your, don't break someone interchondral joint to, it's in the heart now, the chest. Now the Costovertebral joint. Don't give someone your costovertebral joint to, or your intervertebral joint to, your xiphostenal joint. Don't give someone your xiphostenal joint to. Don't break someone's xiphostenal joint to. Okay, now your subclavian joint. Don't break somebody's sternoclavicular joint to. Don't take someone's sternoclavicular joint to. Okay, your mandibulosternal joint. Don't break, in a bid to do PCR, okay, CPR, cardiopulmonary resuscitation, wey dey use hand to press. You must be very careful. That's this I'm saying that sound funny. Okay, oh, don't give somebody your heart to, don't give someone your xiphostenal heart to, don't give someone your xiphostenal joint to. This is the xiphostenal joint. If you are pressing, that's why you need to learn. Go to school to learn, or you learn paid courses how to do CPR. If you press it, there's how you press it, and there's a place you press, there's how you hold your hand. If not, you break that fragile xiphostenal joint, and once that is gone, it can cause internal injury. It can affect the visceral organs there and all that. The abdominal viscera there. Do you follow? Yeah, that's why a clinician studies anatomy, because of what that can happen to that part, aside from the application, the proper functioning of that part of the body. Do you follow me now? Yeah, so that's why we say, don't give someone your heart to, don't give someone your, don't break somebody's heart to, don't collect somebody's heart to, don't give someone, don't let someone collect your heart to. The same thing, your mandibulosternal joint, don't give someone your mandibulosternal joint to, don't take someone's mandibulosternal joint to. Your synchondrosis, don't take somebody's synchondrosis who is around you, and don't collect somebody's synchondrosis, so don't break somebody's synchondrosis, so don't box somebody in the synchondrosis. So okay, so some of the things they do in anatomy is, when we finish studying like this, guess what? We start speaking in anatomy. He said, come down here inferiorly, come here inferiorly. Okay, maybe the person was up in the staircase and you're dancing, and tell him come downstairs. So it's like, come inferiorly. Okay, and say, or maybe you are in the upstairs and the person is downstairs, and tell the person come posteriorly, that's come up to the upper part. And now, like we are talking about synchondrosis, the best way to also master is to use it. Not when you finish, you are discussing with people, you can't use these things here. Use it. If you don't use it, you lose it. That's the truth. If you don't use it, you lose it. Use it until it is used to it. You don't get that point. Use it until you're used to it. Use it until you're used to it. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you for making it a date and making it a date to this session. It's a pleasure. We will be doing our live study, because you study every day. Keep your candle burning, study every night. This one, study every day and night. In medicine, you miss it and suffer. You miss it and suffer. If not, you meet it and soar. You meet it and soar. You make it and soar. Or you miss it and suffer. Miss it and suffer. Miss it and suffer. Or you make it and soar. You meet it and suffer and soar. Do you get the point? All right. So it's a pleasure being here with you once again, and also nursing student, pharmacy student, all the preclinicals, and even those who are not doing this anatomy. Watch this technique we use in study here. A lot of things are there online. Say, oh, how to study, but this one we practice it with you. This one peculiarity with the channel. We pick a book, study with you, and then we now bring you, one of you, and we check up if it's working. That's one peculiar thing about this session. Or peculiar thing about what we are doing here. Very peculiar. If an idiot carries a anatomical book now on thorax to read, it might not make sense. But if he picks this channel, see how we break it down little by little. Before we know now, we now have one single song for the whole thorax. Are you seeing it now? You're seeing it now. So once again, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure for being here, and we are really grateful. We know that if you wrote out what we say you should write out from this channel, and you read it out, forget those we say read in your mind. That mind, a lot of confusion, distraction, sorry to say confusion, a lot of side talks. Now, if you keep quiet, for example, it's as if two voices are in your mind. One is talking, one is listening. And in fact, it's as if another person is wondering, why is he talking like this? When will this one stop talking? When will this one stop listening? That's to say, thoughts are going on in your mind. So you must voice out another one to be more voluminous. All right. If not, what you are reading will lose out, will faint out. The brain was wired to sweep away what it does not use. That's how the brain was wired. Okay, so what it uses often, it retains. What it uses not often, it loses. So if you want to get used to it, start using it. You may be making mistake like this person was saying, break you. You see the way he was calling someone against something. With time, you will get it. Personally, there was a time I was also, eating my tongue, biting my subclavia, my fondulus, and my submanzibali, and the submanzibali triangle, and all that. Okay, I was biting my mouth and tongue. That's just what I'm trying to say. But now, guess what? It's different. And we are grateful to God for this opportunity. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you. And thank you for this session. I don't know how to thank you enough. We've gotten this number of subscribers and you're still sending to people to subscribe. We got to make over 1,000 subscribers so that many medical students, many nursing students, many pharmacy students, remember, these are the people that will be treating you, treating your loved one. So don't say, oh, what do I gain from this? Share to them because even you don't know which hospital you'll be, which clinic you'll be. By the time you share with them and they join and learn it properly, they store it, they load it properly. Guess what? They won't say, oh, it's a case I cannot handle, because they find joy and interest. Okay, this channel makes your book as interesting as anime, home videos, season 1, season 2. That's why some of the titles we use is this season 1, this episode 1, this, means and his. We use some captivating titles that will be able to help you to pick interest. You can just be listening to this, watching this, and enjoying yourself with your Bible and marker. And guess what? You can reach out to us and we discuss. You reach out to your friends and share. So don't stop sharing. As you share, let them subscribe. Let them watch till the end, because at the end, I always give them some tips at the end. Always give them some tips. Watch till the end. Always give them some tips. All right. Once again, thank you and bye-bye. See you tomorrow by 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. Shout out.